is Kimberly with Real Progressives. This week I decided to go out in my community to figure out what are the highest crimes that are committed. I had the great opportunity of interviewing my local sheriff. I live in Brunswick County, Virginia. Population is a little bit over 16,000, and we really don't have a high crime rate, but the statistics are really fascinating. What I was really interested about is how much do we spend per student compared to how much we spend per inmate. What I found out is really fascinating. I wanted to show you what the downtown looks like here in one of the poorest counties in Virginia. I'm going to turn you around just so you can see all the empty buildings here. There's a lot of abandoned buildings here. I don't know if you can see the way the light is. It's the plight of many, many towns throughout America. Hi, Paul. Hey, Jay. But it looks like this everywhere that you go. It's really sad. It's sad how much money we can put into things like prisons, but we can't put money into our communities or into our schools. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like, and I know it looks like that in a lot of areas. Hi, Susan. So I just wanted to show you what Brunswick County looks like. This is downtown Lawrenceville. There's not much here. It's a town that's really struggling, just like many other towns.
Our local jail is funded between 3 counties and the state. Our county spends $2,620,565. They employ about 189 people, and the salary range is $31,000 to $32,000 max. Brunswick County is one of the poorest counties in Virginia. We only have one accredited school. The state gives a little over $13 million, the federal government $1,655,000, and local gives a little over $5 million. After reviewing the prison budget and the education budget, I figured that we spend $40,804 per inmate compared to $12,726 per student. What's interesting is that the Virginia average is around $25,000 per inmate and a little over $11,000 per student. So our county is getting a little bit more per student compared to other areas. The reason why our cost per inmate is higher than the Virginia average is because they built a facility for more inmates. They only have about 410 inmates on a daily average, but they can hold up to 710. So that's where that difference is coming from. It's from a loan that the county has that will be paid off in 2041. You can check out the national averages here on how much we spend per student compared to how much we spend per inmate. I learned the highest number of arrests in my community are drug violations and larceny. The drug violations were a little bit over 80 and larceny around 70. What's really sad is that most of these drug violations are due to prescription drugs. After interviewing my local sheriff, I learned that they had been spending $1.5 million per year by renting out beds all over the state because they only had a jail space in the basement of their building and they had a little over 40 beds. And they decided to build a bigger jail. The great thing about having a new jail is that they have services for inmates like religious services, GED program, education programs, and a drug treatment program.
So in the late 2000s, the average daily population here at our jail was around 140, 150. Our jail doesn't hold but 43 people. So we were required to obviously rent beds all over the state, and we were paying $50 and $60 and $70 and $80 a day for a bed to rent it, spending over $1 million, well over $1 million in rent, and sometimes 1.3, 1.4 million. And it just forced me to try to make some financial decisions, tough decisions, to say, is it a sound investment for me to send $1.5 million all over the state renting beds, or can I invest that money here and accomplish what I need to accomplish here? I'm not going to save money, but can I make a sound investment? I mean, spending rent versus building something to own and purchase and grow was kind of my vision. So, the jail concept was sprung up. The state had a mechanism that if we would build it and 3 people came together, they would reimburse us 50% of the money. So it was a $60 million project. The state gave us $30 million to build it. So the 3 localities borrowed the other $30 million to build it. And I built it with the capacity that I could have over 700 inmates there. So hopefully it'll take care of our needs for decades and decades.
And you have services there that they would.
Yeah, so in my jail here, 43B, I had 0 services. You got locked up, you sit in a jail cell with 20 or 30 other people. We had no medical facilities, we had no treatment facilities, no religious, no nothing, no services at all other than feed them 3 times a day and sit in a jail bed. This place is like a city of its own. It has a full-blown medical department so people can get properly treated. It has a full-scale, commercial kitchen. It has, a commissary. And then it has, law library so people can continue their education. It has, it has GED programs. It has a ton of religious programs. It has a ton of drug treatment programs. It provides people an opportunity, if they want to try to figure out to help themselves, whether it's with their disease, whether it's with their education, whatever it be. It offers those amenities that has never been offered before. On top of that, that jail created 190 jobs. On top of that, that jail created water and sewer infrastructure this county greatly needs to grow other things, industrial development and things. So, the offspring of building that jail hopefully has a lot of great returns and a lot of potential. It's not perfect. Anytime you go and spend $30 million and it costs $13 million to run it, it's a big ticket item. But if you looked at statistically and financially what it cost 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you will see that opening that place in 2012 was a sound investment. It still is a sound investment.
While we have a high cost per inmate compared to per student, the state and the local government give more money to our schools than they do to our prisons. The state gives over $13 million to schools in our area compared to only $6,700,000 at the prison. And locally we give over $5 million to the school compared to $2,600,000 to the prison. However, we spend more per inmate compared to students.
In 2010, the U.S. government spent $15 billion fighting this drug war. The state and local governments spent $25 billion. The federal government spent about $500 per second. If only 10% of those incarcerated received drug treatment instead of incarceration, it would save $4.8 billion. If 40% of those people received treatment instead of incarceration, it would save $12.9 billion. We were able to build a jail for $60 million, with $30 million of that being state funding and the rest being a loan. Yet we can't spend the money to build a new school. Part of the argument is that we have a dropping student population. However, we still have 1,600 students now compared to a maximum of 710 inmates looking towards the future. There are only 410 inmates per day. Can you imagine if we had put this money into our community? What if we could have a community center where we could have a pre-K program, a place for seniors to go during the day, an after-school program? It's been shown that after-school programs increase school performance. We have students who are not performing well in our schools. We only have one accredited school. What if we had spent that money to build a new school that would have a GED program? What if this new school had technical skills training and training for jobs for today instead of kids getting out of school with no job skills and unable to find any type of employment in the area? Studies have shown that students perform better in a better environment, so having a new school should help students perform better. And I really think that it's a good idea to go talk to your local law enforcement and see what they're doing in your community. Not all cops are bad, and a lot of counties are run really well. And I can say that I have a county that has a really, really incredible sheriff. And what I want you to get out of that interview, if you have time to look at it, is that we are spending
way more money incarcerating people over prescription drug use than we are educating our children. We're spending more money incarcerating people than we are fixing up our downtowns that are completely empty. We have something very, very, very wrong with our society, and we need to change it and fix it. It shouldn't cost $25,000 to $45,000 to take care of an inmate who maybe was a mom who hurt her back and she started taking prescription drugs, and then she became an addict. I mean, I know families like this, and then they end up losing their mom. Someone's incarcerated over prescription drug use, and that's the number one crime in this county, is prescription drug use. What I'm saying is that as a society, we could be putting money into treating people for pain. I want to end by saying that state spending, local spending is not the same as federal spending. Once you understand economics and modern monetary theory, you're going to be extremely upset to realize how no money is going to educate our students. We could have a very different world. Please take the time out to learn modern monetary theory.